Hey, my name is Daniel. I'm currently a junior studying computer science, University of Houston. And my background in tech is kind of like unconventional as you can get. Even though I'm currently studying computer science, I never really knew what I wanted to do until like 2 years ago. So before I started doing computer science, I was actually going to school to be an operator at a community college. But that was till COVID hit. And then with COVID hit, everywhere like got shut down and there was plenty of layoffs because nobody knew what was happening. So with that happening, my plan was to work at an operator with my dad, who was there for 30 years. But he had got laid off because of COVID. And seeing somebody with 30 years of experience getting laid off and not being able to find work really made me think about my future and my career choices. So I'm like, do I really want to put my hands or my career in the hands of like something so uncertain? I needed something like I could be confident in, and no matter what happens, I can always be able to pivot and find a different career. So because of that, I was looking into different options and I decided to do computer science. But the weird thing is, I always kind of knew about computer science, but not really, because I thought my cousin did computer science. In reality, he did not. So for some reason, I thought he did computer science. So I was like, I might as well go there, which is something I knew. And I looked it up. I was seeing how much you can get to be a full-time software engineer. I'm like, 6 figures? I'm like, who doesn't want to make money staying at home all day? Because as an operator, you have to be outside like 9 to 8. You're not even working 9 to 5s or 8 hour shifts. You're outside all day in the heat with heavy equipment. So I'm like, who wouldn't want to do that and make a lot of money? So with 1 year left of my degree at community college, I literally switched and pivoted to doing computer science at the University of Houston. Like I literally canceled, I dropped out. I had 3 more classes left of my program, but I quit. And when I transferred to University of Houston, I didn't even get into my degree. I didn't even get a computer science. I got into a supply chain because I didn't have the prerequisites to get into computer science. But I already knew what I wanted to do, so I didn't really let that put me down or stop me. So I was doing research on what I needed to do to be successful. And like Adar said, having a mentor is so important because when I joined, I didn't really know what to do or what path to follow because there were so many different paths to get into tech. So I joined an organization like NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, would had computer science students and they had mentors who had previous internships and had that experience. So I joined and I was able to get a mentor who looked over my resume and gave me tips and advice on getting an internship in tech. And another reason why I say mentors are so important and because they can be somebody you can go to for advice and to help you figure things out. Because my first internship I ever got, which was Walmart, I didn't have the experience for it. I was nervous. I didn't know anything about leak code. I didn't know anything about interview prep. I had just started learning Python. I knew how to do for loops and use arrays, and that was literally it. I was so nervous the week before my interview, I wanted to cancel. I didn't want to waste my time or the interviewer's time because I knew I was not about to pass that technical interview. So I asked my mentor, I'm like, do you think that I should pursue this internship or continue on with my interview? And she was like, yeah, because you never know what could happen. Interviews are not as like set as you might think. There's a lot of luck involved. And you can always just use it like experience if even if you don't land the internship. So I was like, yeah, I might as well just use it experience and use it for next semester. And in my luck, I actually got a question that was so easy that literally anybody can solve it if they spent 2 minutes leak code easies. So with that, I was able to get my first internship at Walmart, where I was at Bentonville doing my first semester as a supply chain student, even though I lied and said I was a computer science major on my resume. I wasn't even in the program yet, but I was still able to get my first experience using it. So I always think it's very important for whoever is interested in getting into tech is to surround yourself with people who's been there and done that because you can reach out to them for questions, for tips, for advice on your interviews. Like this semester, I got 6 internship offers. The last one I got was Cisco Meraki, and the reason I was able to get that offer was because I was able to ask a friend for advice on what he went through in his interview. And turns out we got the same exact question and it's the same exact format. So being able to reach out to those resources, those organizations, and these communities such as Head Starters is really important in being able to be successful in your internship and interview prep. Another thing you might ask is what is it in the day-to-day of a software engineer intern? And I know a lot of you know about imposter syndrome. And even though I have two experiences now, I'm currently a software engineer intern at NASA. But even as you progress through your career and get more experience, that feeling of being an imposter really never goes away. You just get a lot more experience, so you have a less feeling of when you first started. I still feel like an imposter, even though I don't really know like what I'm doing. But the whole point of internships is for you to gain that experience and that exposure to give you the confidence you need, so you're not really feeling that way and at least know what you're doing a little bit. So for anybody who is scared and think that what happens if I'm not ready, you can always just apply, go through the process, and whatever happens, happens, because you never know until you try. So that's one of the biggest advice that I can give you is don't ever wait till you feel like you're ready to apply to jobs, opportunities, or positions, because you'll never have that feeling that, okay, I'm ready to be successful. You really just have to apply and trust in the work that you put in and just trust in the process, and you're eventually going to get one, because all you need is one opportunity and you'll be successful. Because when you get that first one, every other one is easier after that. So some advice that I would give you for anybody who's interested in getting into tech is to have a network, have a community, and have a mentor, so you can reach out for advice and so you could talk to other people who's inspired and interested into getting a career in tech such as you are, so y'all can practice together, communicate, and exchange resources, because that's one of the biggest reasons I was able to get to where I'm at today. And I'm seeing a lot of questions, but if anybody ever has any specific questions, you can feel free to post it in the chat and reach out to me on LinkedIn. I forgot to mention, but like after I had my mentor give me that advice and help me get my first internship, I actually went back and joined as a mentor in the organization. So I actually turned around and became a computer science mentor at my Nesby organization. So it's always about giving back and helping other people who was once in the same position as you were. So whenever you get successful and you reach to the point you achieve the goals you want to achieve, don't forget everybody else that's behind, because you was once in a similar situation that you were. So always reach out and give a helping hand to others that's coming forward. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Somebody's.
Is it okay if I ask a question? If I ask a question?
Yeah.
So for your like internships that you received, do you feel like so you said you were so when you were applying for your internships, you were a supply chain
Yeah.
major instead of
Mhm.
a computer science
Mhm.
major. So did you just like put on your resume that you were a computer science, or do you just have a lot of projects to back up like that you have that coding experience?
I put on my major, I'm a computer science major, but if you really read the job description, they don't really say you have to be a computer science major. They say if you're interested in a major in like computer science or something similar. Because what a lot of people would do is they will put something that's kind of related, but like when they talk to a recruiter, they can be like, oh, I'm currently interested in pursuing like a major in computer science or something technical. Like you don't have to really be in a technical major, because lots of people who get internships that are in different majors. But another thing is, yeah, having that experience to kind of back it up really helps, especially when the job market is getting competitive as compared to like last year or 2 years ago. Because when I was first applying, I really didn't have any projects. I only had class projects, which was done in C++. And I had one project I tried myself using HTML and JavaScript and CSS that I put on my resume, which really wasn't fully fledged or competitive, but just being able to show that you're interested in coding outside of a classroom and your educational setting is one of the biggest things recruiters are looking for. Because actually, I was talking to a Microsoft software engineer, and he gave me a really good tip. I don't think it's applicable, especially in today's job market, but he said recruiters do not care what projects that you have on your resume. All they want to see is that you're able to code on your own time without nobody forcing you to code something. So just being able to show that passion and show that you're able to, try new things and explore new technologies without somebody forcing you is one of the biggest things that can help you in your resume, instead of looking for like a project that everyone else has on their own resume. Just being able to show that passion helps a lot.
I
Thank
want to
you.
do one thing before you answer this question, Daniel. I'm sorry. Adarsh, are you still here?
Hey, yeah, no, I was just answering questions
Oh,
earlier.
thanks. Daniel and Adarsh, before he leaves, can we take a quick picture together with everyone here?
Oh yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Adarsh, you want to come? Oh, there you are. All right, guys. Yo, this is the time when you got to come on cam. So, uh, um, please come on cam if you aren't already. There we go. All right. If there's too many people, we're not gonna have everybody at the same screen. But this looks good enough for so far. Okay. Anyone else want to come on cam? You guys can. Let's take a picture. Why is that? Oh, Shreyas is here too. Awesome. So this will be everyone. Awesome, guys. All right. Hold up. All right. In 3, 2, 1. All right. 3. You guys can go like this too, you know? 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. Cool. Thank you so much, Adarsh. I know you're in a divide time, so appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks. And Daniel, we'll take like one more question and introduce our next speaker because he's here.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So let's see, like one of the questions we had. You talk about like a lot about passion. So can you talk about like one of your favorite projects? Maybe you can go like you can show like two sides of that. Like one side you can talk about like what is like how did you get started on like your initial projects, and then talk about your most complex projects.
Okay. So some of the best projects you can ever do are projects that help you solve a challenge that you're currently facing. So one of the recent projects I had it was something really simple. It was a Python program which takes a file, like a CSV file, that has movie titles and movie years. And all it does is it creates another file and it joins the two tables together to create like a full title, including the movie title and the year. And the reason why I wanted to do this because I use a site called MDB List. I don't know if any of y'all heard of it, but it's a site where you can input movie titles, TV series, and it will generate a list for you. So you're able to go through the different titles and movies you've seen and add it to a watch list. So one of the issue I was facing is when I would put the title in, it would come up with a random movie with the same title, but it really wouldn't be the specific one I was looking for. And to be able to have it to be accurate, I had to include the year the movie was made. So you can kind of see where the issue was because let's say you have a file of 500 movie titles and you have to go through each one and put the year in for it to be an accurate representation of all the series and films you watch. So I'm like, there's no way I'm about to be doing this for each movie list that I have because I had like 10 at the time. So I was like, Python is used for doing automation, and I know how to use Python, but even though I don't really know how to work with CSV files and output files, I'm like, this is a good learning experience to use a program language to help solve a challenge I'm currently facing. And the project literally took like 10 minutes. But if I was to be in a behavior interview today and an interviewer was supposed to ask me about that project, I can go in depth and give a lot of details on some of the challenges I faced when working on that project just because it was able to solve a challenge that I was facing. And you was asking about a complex project. A complex project I had recently would probably be, I would say my JP Morgan Code for Good project since I was working with multiple developers. And you know, when you're working by yourself, it's easy to get things done, it's easy to make mistakes and quickly fix it. But when you're working with a team of developers, you have to account for what everybody is doing and what everybody is working on. And you have to worry about how your piece of the project is going to work with everybody else's. So that was one of the challenging projects that I had to work on because before that, I was usually just working by myself. Either if it was a school project or it was a personal project, it was just me, so I could handle that more better. But when you're working with a large team of people and using Git, there's a lot of issues that can come with that, like what's it called, like Git merge issues and stuff like that. So that was just one of the challenging projects I had to face, especially when working with a team and communication as well.
Very cool, Daniel.
Yeah.
And a little bit later, Daniel, we're gonna actually show an AI, a version of you,
Oh yeah.
talk through a live session. So, guys, can we just have some praise for Daniel here, like in the chat? Please drop
And if
some.
anybody needs have any questions or need any resources, just let me know because I'm telling you, when I was trying to get into tech and get my first internship, I'll search wide and far for the best materials for coding interviews, for system design, behavioral. I have it all. Just let me know and I got you.
Awesome. Very, very cool. I'm just sharing Daniel's LinkedIn. I think he's been working really hard, and love the hustle, man. Love the hustle. And thank you so much for reaching out. You know, I really appreciate
No
and it's crazy that now you're speaking.
problem. No problem.
You always gotta reach out, bro. That's
Got to.
like Daniel came out of nowhere. He's the one who reached out and he was like, dude, I love your platform. Can I be an AI character? I was like,
I
we made you one, bro. It happened. So
appreciate it.